back to 1010's podcast. I'm your host, Robert Griot. I have Adam Nilsson on Zoom, and we are Thunder Buddies.
Oh God, dude! What the hell?
It snowed like crazy on Monday.
What is happening out there?
Did you? I should have saved the picture. Did you see the weather map today?
Yes.
If you're in Des Moines, your temperature was around 52 and rainy.
Yep.
If you drove an hour south, it was 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And if you drove an hour north, it was 32 degrees.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
And dude, we've already had our first full-blown snowstorm of the season.
It was a squall. It was a whiteout
last
condition.
week. Yeah, I learned another new storm term after derecho, which was that crazy windstorm we had, which, by the way, they ranked as the 5th most destructive storm by monetary value in since they've been recording that stuff in like the 40s, 50s, something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't get any coverage. Nobody knows outside of Iowa.
Seems.
I mean, really. Yeah. But even
then we get this snow squall, and I got I think between 2 and 3 inches of snow at my house, and it quit by like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got home at like 5:30, and all the snow was already gone.
Yep.
And just like 20 or 30 minutes south of me, they got 4 or 9 inches of snow.
Yeah, but I think Ankeny got 7. So by the time one of my coworkers left work, it went from 0 to 7, and I don't know how she hasn't been back to work since because COVID. But yeah, it's been crazy.
We're gonna make a small interruption here.
Uh-oh.
I'm in my kid's room, and he has no pajamas.
All right, well, we're too far into the show. I'm not.
No, we're not stopping this, but it's going to happen. So it's fine. We'll just keep talking.
Can he say the catchphrase that pays?
I don't think he's coming in. Oh, there he is. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy.
I need the listeners at home need to hear the catchphrase that pays.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? He can't hear me.
Hi.
How's it going, buddy?
Good.
That's good.
Who's your favorite race car?
Mine.
Lightning.
No, I thought we liked.
That's right.
I thought we liked. What's the blue car?
Nah, dude, he loves Lightning McQueen.
No, he likes the blue car with the V8 and the modern noises.
He probably doesn't even remember that anymore.
No, he probably doesn't.
All right, buddy. Are you going to go to bed?
Yes.
All right. Good night, buddy. Sorry about that. Had to happen.
I know. We're just so used to it now. Every week we just got to say, I need you, Daddy.
I don't think he's going to understand. His catchphrase of anything is, hey, dude.
That's a great catchphrase for a small child.
I've taught him to use the word rad and dude. And Katie absolutely despises when he calls her dude.
I can see that.
So now I'm working on dudette.
Apparently the word that I'll say from time to time that Jess absolutely hates is gnarly. Apparently that's
gnarly?
I can't use
What's
that
wrong
word.
with
I don't know.
gnarly?
She makes fun of me.
Why she gotta hate?
I don't know. Chicks be hating, man.
Right? Ugh. I don't know what's wrong with
just trying to be me, man.
Bro, I like gnarly.
I want to say bro. I just want to say bro and gnarly. Just want to be like a dude.
I get that.
Where the hell were we? Talking about weather. We're probably talking about weather.
Yeah, I think we've probably talked about the weather enough.
That's fine. Sitting here in the Kangen Motorsports studio. We'll get to James making fun of me later, but
oh yeah,
yeah, we'll get there.
Excellent.
If you want to go to kangenmotorsports.com, you can read up on cool articles on tips for passing or how to make better track notes. And then if you want to make fun of him, you can send him a message and say, "Hey, I need a new article. You are behind." Because he was texting me this week, making fun of me, and then also saying that he was catching up on podcasts. So by the time he catches up to this, he hopefully will have had messages from people saying, "Hey, give me an article."
There you go. You want to? Here, I'll give James some ammo for me.
Oh, good.
So, quite some time ago, I found a. It's like I'm pretty sure it's Hot Wheels branded, but it's like a car hauler truck, right? That's an enclosed truck, and it has a Datsun 240Z coming out of the back, and it's BRE liveried.
I've seen that. Oh, that one's super cool.
Yeah, and I bought that for him. I took a picture of it and I texted it to him. And he's like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! Where'd you find it?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, man. I'll get it for you." And that was about Christmas time of last year. I was like, "I'll buy it for you. I'll send it to Christmas."
You never did you?
It's sitting in the room right next to me here. Well, not in this room, but in the room next door. Still in my house.
I was trying to find a picture of it. I can't find it, but I do remember seeing the BRE Datsun Hot Wheels at like Walmart, and maybe that's the one.
Yeah. So sorry about that, James. Maybe this Christmas.
Yeah. See that it was you were just
this Christmas is coming back around.
Yeah, you were a year ahead, man.
There you go.
Speaking of BRE or knockoff BRE stuff,
hell yeah.
Luckily, I'm not very good at logos and other cool graphic design stuff, but lucky for us, Dusty Nixon is. So if you want to head over to our store, we have new shirts that I talked about weeks ago that never finished.
That's fine.
We got crop tops for the ladies. We got a knockoff BRE shirt, and we got a embroidered champion jacket. And the description in the jacket is, have you ever been to a Grid Life event? Then you know what it's like to be in the pouring rain. Get this jacket. Because it seriously rains at every Grid Life event.
I know.
Except
apparently we really need to make sure we don't have that at NOLA.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be underwater.
Because that's apparently below sea level.
By like 8 feet.
Yeah,
the whole city is below sea level.
I know.
None of it makes any sense.
No,
it's a great city, but it makes no sense. And I'm
it's
super
a terrible place to put a city.
I'm super jealous of everyone that gets to go because it's going to be a super fun event. But I definitely can't make it.
I get it, man. I get it. I probably shouldn't either, but it's fine.
You are going though. But
I am going. Yes,
you said you weren't going.
I know, but then Dalton was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go. Fuck it." He's like, "I really need a crew guy," and Josh was like, "Man, there's no way I can go. My wife's already out of town that weekend, and I don't want to have to pay to kennel the dogs and all that stuff." He's like, "It's just not happening." I was like, "Fine, let's do this. I'll turn in my PTO," because my thing was like, so like. Summer's bad or winter's bad enough the way it is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like it's always cold and miserable, and there's no events, and we're stuck at home, and there's nothing going on. And at least we have like PRI to break that up a little bit, and some other things. But that's not happening this year.
Nope.
And so I was like, man, screw it, let's go. Because the other thing is that like in February, I've had Super Lap Battle the last couple of years to help break it up a little bit. Oh, yeah, fun fact, they pushed that back to March. So now instead of in the beginning of February, it's the middle of March, which means that that's a full month farther out than it normally is.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, screw it, man. We're going. Let's do this.
Well, that'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, assuming it doesn't rain. Well, it'll be a good story if it rains.
We'll see how well the stacker floats, I guess.
Well, at least you can climb on top and be above everybody.
There you go. So, yeah, I guess I'm going. It's going to be great. I'm going to watch some team drift.
It's going to be great. That is going to be a lot of fun, though. That event looks like it'll be super interesting.
I didn't realize how fast that track is.
So fast.
Apparently, it's wicked fast.
Faster than you would think.
Yeah. So I have jokingly been saying that I was petitioning for the full front straight with no kink in it, because apparently they can take out the turn one complex and just make it a straight line all the way down.
Oh,
and
oh shit,
yeah, and
that
so
is
I
so
was,
long.
I was. It's like 4,500 feet.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, so I was jokingly saying that, oh, Dalton, we'll get that. You'll do like 160, 170, right? And then Dusty comes and tells us that he did 155 there with the front straight kink, turn one.
Yeah.
Because apparently you got a real head of steam coming off the last corner.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick last. I'm basing this off of Seto Corsa, but
right.
It's a pretty quick corner going into the front straight.
Which means that Dalton is going to be flying.
Oh yeah,
in that Corvette.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd say he's probably going to be deep into the 160s.
Oh, I would think so.
And
has he ever been in sixth gear in that car? On track?
I don't know.
He might
on
be.
Purpose, I bet.
Damn,
what was it that in Top Gear? Was it first or was it fourth or fifth gear?
It's fourth gear. You can go from 0 to 150.
Yeah.
Such stupid. It's such a stupid car. 0 to 150 in fourth gear.
Hey man, if you wanted to get real tricky, I mean, I don't know what the final drive is, how different the final drive is from yours, but it's just a T56. You could put the gear set that is in the transmission in yours.
I bet our gear sets aren't that different in all reality.
I don't know what your final drive is versus his, but the gear set itself should go into yours.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, half the power will really not help me there, but
I mean, that can be fixed too.
Yeah, I'm not touching that car for a while. I got so many other things I want to do.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, we'll talk about what I've been up to lately later.
Yeah.
But yeah, NOLA. Fun track that I haven't actually driven, but can't wait to hear about it.
I'll get you the skinny.
Nice. I want the skinny and the fatty. Wait, what?
Hey man, you do you.
I don't know, man. I don't. You ready to open this up?
So should we do the let's do the opener.
Right, let's open this up. Presented by factoryfabrication.com or Fact Fabrication. The Porsche's still there. They had a pretty awesome weekend at Hallett, it looks like. They had some TPS issues that they were fighting on Sunday, it looks like. But I think that all in all, they had a pretty successful weekend. A little bit of carnage. But ZR3 Racing did 2 full days of racing at Hallett. So I'm jealous of that because I love Hallett. It's so good. Hallett's so good. It's the best.
Saturday, Booney missed a yellow flag, passed a couple cars under yellow. They got some penalty laps.
However,
amateur hour.
However, I think he got that expunged when he brought the recorded footage.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure because I know he said that they had a penalty that they reversed because they had footage showing otherwise.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I don't know if that's the same thing, but I know that footage got him out of a penalty.
It's interesting.
It sounded like it was a pretty wild weekend because he said 3 cars rolled, and it was like really weird weather. So it was just a really eventful event. So we'll have to have them on the show again. I want to hear all about their racing.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
I only talked to him about like shit that we drop off at his shop. We don't get to like hang out and talk about car stuff anymore.
Right.
Like his goings on.
Right.
But anyway.
So the opener here, it's probably been a little over a week ago now. I was driving home in my wonderful daily driver, my Cavalier. Driving that back from work one day, and I saw something come off that kind of pop up over the front end and fly by, and I was like, that was kind of weird. I didn't really know what it was. I was like, it kind of looked like a lens or something, right? And I was like, I don't know. Didn't really pay much attention to it. Got home, turns out that I lost the lens for the driver's side corner light.
Okay.
So the headlight is kind of 2-piece, right? It's the main headlight piece and then the corner light. They're separate, even though they're touching.
So kind of like the 240.
They're 2 separate pieces.
Yeah. Like the 240 SX then. Actually, it's very similar. It's like the same setup.
Could be. Actually, I've seen 240 SX lights grafted onto the front of more than one Cavalier.
Yeah, I think
what that's worth.
Yeah, they're similar enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
But anyway, the light still works and all that stuff, but obviously the lens is gone, so that's only a matter of time before that becomes a problem. And I don't feel like replacing bulbs all the time, so I was like, well, I think they're already aftermarket clear corners. I don't think they're factory.
Okay.
which is probably why they fell apart, probably why they came unglued and fell apart. But I was like, whatever, I'll just buy some new ones. How expensive can they be? I haven't actually
very expensive.
No, not at all.
Oh, that's good.
No, this is a Cavalier. So I was kind of going through the eBays, checking things out, and I was sort of disappointed in the ricer options for lighting. But I put together a quick list here of things that I could buy for this car. They're just lighting specific modifications, right?
Okay.
So first one up is just the corner lights. If I just wanted to buy those, which I'm probably going to do no matter what, they're rocking $16 for a pair.
Oh my God, they're cheap.
Oh wait, this is just the one.
Oh, but still. $32?
So yeah, it's $16. So since they're selling them as just one, see, maybe this is the factory light. Because that's what it kind of looks like, and they're only selling one of them.
It's hard to... It does look very similar to the picture I have up. I don't think it's the not OEM replacement is how I would describe that. Right.
So anyway, it is what it is, but that's no fun, right?
No.
Just buying a corner light. There's no fun in that. So I was trying to, when I was deep into the Cavalier game in high school, I remember there were the set of headlights that made it all one piece, right? It was the headlight and the corner light. They were built in together, and there was a dual light bulb set up for the headlights, a high and a low, and one of them had a halo light around it, and they were dope. Those apparently don't exist anymore. I was really bummed out about it. The only aftermarket headlight I could really find, they make chrome or black housings, and they still do make the one pieces, but they don't have the halo built in anymore. It's just the one single bulb, high-low bulb headlight, like the factory.
Okay. So can you modify them?
So I did find someone who sells what they claim to be halos that fit in the headlight.
Okay.
But they have what looks to me like a really bad Photoshop.
Yeah, there's not one picture of the real item.
Right.
Hold on, now I got to click.
And it's $77.40 for just the halo rings.
But that's on sale. The two that sold in the past sold for $83.85. So two people have purchased this already. And
their normal asking price is $129.99. So
it's a 40% off discount. You can't afford to not buy this.
See, I love this. When you read the description, it says these are the most advanced halo kits ever produced.
Ever? Oh my!
Ever. Gone are the days of brittle glass tubes and power inverters. Using industry-leading proprietary technology, Flash Tech brings you the brightest LEDs in the halo market. And that makes me laugh so much. Proprietary, industry-leading technology, people.
I still can't believe they don't have a single picture of the real thing.
That's because it's not.
Just like the halo itself, not installed into anything, would be better than just a Photoshop picture. So you have the you have the Photoshop picture, and then you have just the pieces on a table somewhere.
No, those are not the picture to the pieces. That is a wheel illumination kit in the related products.
Huh?
Isn't it?
No, I'm looking on eBay. So on the eBay listing, it's got the white LED halo kit for headlights, and it's just a picture of a Cavalier with the halo, but there's no item.
Right.
So a picture of a item at all would be better.
Right. But I don't even see a picture of them sitting on the table.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what they need. That's what they That's what they absolutely need.
There is a video which I have not watched and I refuse to. But
where?
If you scroll down a ways, there's a video from Flash Tech Lighting.
There's no way that woman is not a porn star. She looks like this is the start of a porno.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That girl moonlights as a porn star.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Or maybe she's this porn star that moonlights as a commercial salesman for Halo headlights. I'm not going to click play on it because I don't know where this is going to go.
She's got rent to pay, and what she has to do.
I don't judge. This is 2020. Anything to pay the bills in 2020 is fair game. I don't judge.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. It's fine. So, but yeah, I was really bummed out that nobody sells Halo lights anymore. There's like an all-in-one kit.
Yeah, you would think that they'd be out there.
I'm sure that the ones that were out there when I was 17, 18 years old were hot garbage.
Yeah, probably.
But I still really wanted them. But anyway, the headlights are the kit here that I picked. It's the one-piece setup, but it just uses factory bulbs. It's $70. It's not like breaking the bank. It's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it's not $16 to just buy one and move on with my life, which is why I'm probably still going to do that because, you know.
Yeah, just keep moving on.
It's cheaper than the ticket.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm really the most worried about is getting pulled over for that because it's, you know, my turn signal doesn't work or something stupid.
Yeah, that or you'll spend double the money on replacement bulbs as you keep burning them out every time it rains.
Yeah, every time it rains. In fact, it's probably burned out on my way home today.
Yeah.
But, you know, no aftermarket light conversion would be complete without tail lights, obviously.
We can't do the front without doing the back.
Right. So I did find some black ones. Actually, so the headlights that I picked, those are being sold by the same person as these taillights, and you can buy them as an all-in-one package.
That's nice. They were thinking about the consumer.
It's so convenient.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it even has the DOT rated stamp on it, so you know it's legit.
It's the real deal,
man. Yeah, man. They're legal in America.
When I was in high school, there was another kid. I think he might have been a year older than me, but he had the most riced out red Eclipse you've ever seen in your life.
In Hall?
No, he was from Sheldon. Actually, I think the kid you're thinking of may have bought that car from the person who I knew.
Yes. That sounds right.
But it was a base model, naturally aspirated front wheel drive one.
Okay.
That had like a full body kit on it and had all the fucking lights and all this stuff. I remember the kid that I knew, he got pulled over for and they gave him a ticket for the aftermarket lights. And I was like, no. Dude, those are perfectly legal. I said, they've got DOT stamps on the lenses. Those are perfectly 50 state legal. And he went to the courthouse and he had them come outside. They looked at it and they waived his ticket.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't want to spend the money on the taillights, so I just did a coat of like clear coat with like black tint in it. But I didn't do a good enough job cleaning the guns. So I had a bunch of like metal or like metallic flake from the previous paint job that we did. So then we had to like try to cover that up with more tint, and then it was like completely blacked out. And then it was too dangerous to drive. And then it ended up buying the actual LED taillights anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people who like way over tint.
Yeah. No. If you over like just a real light, like we're talking like 5% is more than enough. But like once you start putting like 50% transparency, you're a danger to people on the road. Because I can't see you brake and I'm going to hit you with my truck.
Yeah, or see you when it's dark.
Yes.
So yeah, people go way overboard with that, but
yeah, I'm not a big fan of smoke taillights as I've gotten more intelligent.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Since the car's silver, I feel like if I was going to do this, that black is the right move, even though I like the chrome more in general.
Does it have a picture?
I don't know. I can't decide. As my resident ricer expert,
Do you have a picture of the chromes?
they're literally just the chromes. I mean,
It's just the same thing, just all the black is chrome?
all the black is chrome.
I think you're going to need more black accents on your car, though.
So I already have a fake carbon fiber Chevy bow tie.
All right, that's half, you're getting there.
A mod that I didn't know I had until just recently. I
bet Josh knew.
I don't know. I don't think he did it. I mean, he probably knew, but I think that it was on there when he bought it.
What color are your wheels?
Right now, they're just the black factory 15-inch Steelies.
Okay, then we'll just stick with the black wheels and then do black taillights.
I got to get like real wheels if I'm going to start modifying this thing. That's like the first thing it needs.
Well, XXR is like $100 a piece, so
I know, right?
Those are not expensive. That's like what you're spending on lights will get you 2 wheels from XXR. So I mean, it's fine.
It's 5x100, which isn't like a super weird.
No,
size
that's out there.
Or bolt pattern. I think I could probably just.
What size do you want?
I would prefer to stick with the 15s because it's cheap.
Oh, shoot. I was going to say 16s are on Facebook Marketplace all the time.
Yeah, I don't know
nothing.
what 16. I don't know what 16-inch tires cost, I guess.
Nothing. Once you get to like 18s and 19s, that's where it gets more expensive.
See, I'm still used to like when I owned my Audi, it had kind of a slightly strange size, 17, and they were just, at least at the time in my mind, they were just ungodly expensive.
So like 17s aren't bad.
I'm still scared of buying anything that's not a 15.
16s are cheap. 17s aren't bad. 18s aren't bad. 19s get up there. 22s. That's when it gets expensive for something.
I can promise you I'm not buying fucking 20s. 20s on my Cavalier would look so bad.
20s on a lot of things look so bad. But I think 16 is such a common factory size. I think you'd be more than fine.
That's probably true. I think
you could go to Walmart and spend $400 on a set of tires.
In order to get the amount of sidewall that I feel is required, I think a 17 my speedometer would be way off and everything would be terrible.
Oh yeah, it'd be fine, but I think you'd be happy with a 15 or 16 with the Cavalier.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know I'm giving you boring answers. Everyone's yelling at their radio or their phone like, no, tell them to do 20s. But yeah.
Not a fucking chance, dude. Not a chance.
You could stuff some 18s on there, I bet. How about you come over and we'll swap the Z wheels on it because it's got 5x100 options on it. And we'll see what
dude, there is no way that a tire or a wheel that wide would fit on that.
I got spacers.
Maybe flip them around.
We'll just put the fronts on. Those are only 9.5 inches wide.
I'll bet you that's too wide.
Yeah, probably. It's 9.5 is pretty up there for even the 240 without spacers.
Yeah, that's a wide wheel.
That's just the front. The rears are.
Says.
I think the rears are 10.5s. Yeah, 10.5.
You're gonna have to get smaller tires for GLTC.
Oh, I know. I want 18 by 9.5s, or just get 2 more that match the front.
Are you gonna run ho-hos?
I don't know.
You think?
I don't know. It's going to be a while before I actually take that to GLTC, because if we do three WRL races next year, assuming that works out, and then with 1 lap, and then also doing all the mid-of TT, I think realistically the 240 won't get driven much, and then the Z will get shaken down at the TT events as I develop it while I spend money on WRL. And get experience for the following year at GLTC. So, that's obviously not how it's going to go because my plans are never how they go. I'll probably make it to the first Grid Life event with the Z, however it sits, and say, let's do this. And
if I were you, because everything revolves around your power to weight number, and you don't really know what you can and can't do with your car, the very first thing I would do before I started buying wheels, tires, aero, making those decisions is I'd get that thing on a dyno and find out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, even
And then get it on a scale and figure out what it weighs.
Well, the only reason I would want the 2 more wheels to match the front was because I would plan on running a square setup. Because I don't.
Right.
So that's, regardless of where I'm at with that, that's the only reason I was assuming I'm just going to go to 2 more wheels to match the fronts, and then I have no idea what direction I'm going. I'm not going to go out and buy a wing and build a splitter and do all this stuff without knowing exactly what the car weighs and what power I have. So,
right.
I'm following my theory, or my rules of thumb for building a race car. It goes suspension, tires, limited slip, brakes. Those are the 4 important ones first, and then everything else I can build around.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's where my next big thing is brakes. I got to decide where I want to go with that. I could do the 370Z Akibonos. That's like 14-inch rotors up front. And then I can't remember how big the backs are. But that's a pretty common swap. And then I can use G-lock pads for the 70Z Nismo. So I might do that, and that's not a very super expensive swap. We'll see.
So anyway, that was my my trip down memory lane, because like I thought I was going to do a lot of that stuff, and then I never did. But
now's your chance as an adult.
I just have a really hard time justifying spending any amount of money on that car.
I know.
Because like it's not in the worst shape, but it's not in the best shape either.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say that, I mean rust-wise, because it's in pretty bad shape physically. It's been beat. It's got a bunch of dents and scrapes and scratches, and it's not in good shape. But I really struggle. I really struggle to like spend any money on it, because I feel like by the end of this winter, it will have exploded with rust and be completely trash.
Yeah, that's always a worry. Plus, it's your daily driver. You don't want to throw a bunch of money into it that's going to make it a shittier daily driver.
What always shocks me, what I think is weird, and I don't know why it is this way, but like, so James Houghton, his family runs like this rust control business, and they spray some sort of coating underneath cars.
Yep.
And apparently it's very, very good at rust prevention.
Yeah.
As the name would suggest.
They built a pretty successful business that way.
Yeah. And I don't understand why that's not a thing around here.
You would think that everywhere north or in the Rust Belt would have, every major city would have one.
But no, they don't. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like maybe this is our opportunity to start a business, but I don't know. It's just weird to me, you know?
Yeah. I if it works, I think it's a pretty easy sell.
I would have absolutely, without thinking twice, I would have done it on the S10. And if it would have saved my cab corners, that would have been the best day of my life.
Yeah. Because the Avalanche was starting to show signs of rust.
Yeah.
I would have done it too. I'd do it on the truck now, preventive.
I mean, there's no reason
I don't want to deal
not
with it.
to.
And it really can't be that expensive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me neither. Oh,
but it's just not a thing around here.
Your lighting thing reminded me of the rabbit trail I went down this afternoon for a little bit.
Oh, no.
So the endurance team group chat, WRL announced that they were going to do like a big announcement at 3 o'clock today, and then we were kind of speculating on what it was, and I jokingly said, well, obviously they're going to require that everybody has to have underglow in 2021. Obviously. Which led to this ridiculous conversation of all the like the lighting and stuff that we want on the car, which led me down to the path of, wouldn't it be funny is if I had a signal based on my RPM gauge that would, the higher the RPM, the brighter my LEDs under the car got. When I looked up how to wire it, I'm like, I could do this. Not that it wouldn't be that difficult, but it's not worth it. If y'all like that,
it's kind of worth it though, Robbie.
It'd be such a. It's like I'm thinking the Viper as the RPMs go up,
yeah.
it gets like all like flashy and the Viper head gets all bright. It'd be like that, but under the car. And it would cost like $20.
I promise you that someone like Don would jump on the opportunity to do something like that and would just absolutely love it.
I think, honestly, all it would take would be like what's it called? I'm not an electronics expert, and I never claimed to be. Like a voltage converter up thing. So basically, it takes the 0 to 5 volt signal and then bounces it up from a 0 to 12 volt signal. So it would just give, as the RPM builds, the power to your lights build. I think it'd be that simple, but
yeah, I don't know.
Don's probably listening to the podcast. No, you idiot! It would be this and this and this. It would cost you $4. It'd be super easy.
When are we doing it?
Yeah. Here, let me send you the bill of materials. You just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, just make it happen.
Yep. But this rant about underglow and LEDs and Ricer lights is brought to you by Factory Fabrication for all your Ricer lights and fabrication needs. Okay, not really fabrication or lights, just all fabrication all the time. The Porsche's there right now. Z's going there next. I need to go hang out with Booney.
I don't know if he's happy or mad about this stuff.
That's a really good question.
You know what I mean? Like the car thing.
I think if he didn't want to do it, he'd tell us to fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, but like I don't.
It's not. I mean, it's not. He's not doing it for free. Obviously, I mean, it's
right.
It's a business,
and I'm
paying for his services. But so maybe it's a niche thing he wants to do more of, or none of.
It seems like there's a real opportunity there because it always seems like people struggle to find cage builders in a timely manner.
Yes, and ones that are.
It seems like I've got this cage builder. He's 3 months out all the time.
Yeah, that or you got somebody with a welder in his garage. And it's like, And
I don't trust that guy.
No. You want the best fabricator you can find. So that's what we did. So we've been talking about building roll bars and cages at Factory Fab for months now, and he has not once texted or called me and said, "Hey, knock that shit off." So
that's fair.
So I'll take that as silence, meaning go for it. But yeah, if you need a table or hand railing or a cage or a roll bar or a chair or a table, I said that already. Other metal fabrication or wood fabrication needs, fabrication.com.
What have you been working on?
Dude, I've been wrenching nonstop. That's all I do. Yep. So, where am I? So a couple weekends ago, went over to Nick's working on the Porsche. So we got all the suspension kind of loosely installed. Like everything's just hand tight. So it's one of those things like everything's there, but nothing's truly installed. So it's just kind of, everything's just rolling shell. Please don't drive this type stuff. So like the whole weekend, it's get the suspension installed, make sure everything's right. The steering rack, we messed with that for a bit because I'm looking at it going, I have 2.5 turns to the left and 3.5 turns to the right on the steering wheel. This ain't right. So we fucked with that for forever. And then like we're pulling out the Porsche manuals because they have like actually really nice Porsche manuals that they got in trade on one of the things, like legitimate workshop from Porsche manuals. So we're scrolling.
That would be nice.
Oh, someone is trying to sell a set of these, the exact set that we have, for like $750 on a group I'm on.
Oh, holy shit! That's pretty sweet.
So it's like if that thing sells, if those manuals sell, I'm gonna propose that we scan all of these, save them on my computer, and then sell these. Because $750 is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, that'll go a long ways towards something.
But they are without a doubt the best service manuals I've ever seen.
I don't That does not surprise me.
I'm used to Nissans, which kind of walk you through it step by step. You know, it gives you what you need. It's not great, but it's there. All the information's there. Then I'm going through the Porsche manual. It's got like every step has a picture and a description and a note. Whoever did this tore a car completely apart and put it back together and said, this is how to do it. So like we're going through it and figuring out the steering rack. It's like, well, if you tighten this and then you adjust it like this, and then there's a note that says, if you're using this steering rack, just take note that it's going to be off by, an inch, or not, whatever it is in metric, an inch to the left or on the passenger side than it is to the driver's side, which would explain why we're off by, 3/4 of a turn. So just you adjust that. It's like, this is really nice. I never in a million years.
What a novel concept.
Never in a million years would have thought that the Porsche manual would have been super helpful. I thought I was going to open it up saying, nope, nothing here. Sorry, buddy.
You're just dumb. It's just a bunch of Germans being really, really, really belittling to you.
Yeah. I thought it'd be like super snobby. But everything requires a special tool, which luckily you can usually get a workaround on. But yeah, we were working on the steering rack, kind of beating our heads on like, it doesn't make any sense. Everything's centered. Everything should be perfect. And then the manual goes, no, shift everything to the left. Just rotate everything to the left and then tighten everything back up. Oh, okay. It's just really strange to me that it's off by 30 millimeters or whatever.
They're like a quick ratio rack.
It's just the non-power steering rack.
Oh, okay.
Just a regular.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything special about it. I just think it's a non-power rack. But it was kind of confusing because there's like Volkswagen stuff on a handful of different things. Like the steering column had a Volkswagen logo on it, so we were questioning whether or not that was a legitimate steering column. And so yeah, we messed with that the weekend before, whereas the column that was in there didn't line up correctly with the the firewall. So it was just messing with that. And then what else have we done? Oh, I installed all the fuel lines, ran all the hard lines, and then ran the the flex lines over the torque tube and like all that stuff to make it work. But it's kind of a weird saddle tank. They go, and of course it doesn't make sense to have everything just the same size fittings and just everything connect to each other real nice. So you got like a 1/2 inch just a barbed plug coming out of the bottom of the tank, and then it's supposed to go to a -6 AN by the time it gets to the hard lines, which of course if you've take this out of a previously owned car, you either have to drop the entire transaxle out to get to it and all the suspension components to pull that line out, or you just cut it and make your own, which is what we did. But of course I have to find tubing that can come out at 1/2 inch, pull a hard 180, and then go to a what is it? We'll just say like a -6 that's on the fuel pump. And that's all in a matter of 2 inches, because it's got to fit behind the shield. So like a lot of people will buy the kits that'll go fitting to the tank. So it's like a 1/2 inch 180. And then it goes 180 immediately again to the filter and then back up and around. So it's just like this snake going up next to the tank. It's just a really weird setup. So ours is a little bit different, where you got just the filter, the pump on one side that goes over, where there's a shitload of room on the other side because the tank doesn't fill up that whole area, and that's where the filter is, and that's where it connects with the rest of the fuel lines. So that was my project the weekend before, or 2 weekends ago. But I'm working under the car, getting this all figured out, and Eric's working on the electronics, and he's taking he basically created an entire wiring harness and just did drew up the everything. So it's just all his project. And I'm working under the car, and he's drilling holes for the circuit breaker. And all of a sudden, I hear, damn it.
We're off to a great start.
And I got splashed. There's no fluids in this car.
Splashed?
This poor bastard slipped and put the drill bit through the battery.
Oh, no way.
Our brand new battery. So I'm laying under the car getting splashed with battery acid.
Oh, that sucks.
So then he's panicking because it's got the drain, so like, fumes and stuff go out the bottom of the car. Well, that's where all the fluids go. And then it's Nick's shop, and Nick's not there, so he shows up in the next morning, and we're trying to clean up, and it's just like this path of acid that like just cleaned off his floor. And then he's, Eric's like scrambling trying to get the battery out without dripping acid all the way through the shop. He asked me not to tell that story, which of course I told him I can't have a podcast and not tell that story.
Absolutely.
So he went and bought us a new battery that next day. But, hindsight being what it was, it's like, you could have just took the battery out and drilled in your holes and it would, but sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
Where's the fun in that, though?
I've done that shit all the time, man. But yeah, he got a new battery.
That stuff will like ruin floors too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We, basically like rinsed out everything, like cleaned out the car. I'll definitely have to go back and double check on it, make sure everything's fine. But I mean, yeah, it was towards the top of the battery, so like it wasn't just like an entire battery just emptied everywhere, but it was enough to go out down the drain, splash onto me a little bit. Then the rest of the weekend, even like this happened Friday night, so like all day Saturday, I'm like, man, does anybody else's skin feel itchy? just messing with Eric the whole time.
It's a dick move, man.
Yeah.
So the place I work at, we just last year we built this giant second building that's just for our mechanic staff, because we have like literally hundreds of pieces of equipment, and so we have enough to warrant a full-time mechanic staff, right?
Yeah.
And the guy that owns the company I work for is very, very, very particular about the way the things he puts money into look. He's very worried about that kind of stuff. And so the new shop, when they were polishing the floor, the machine they used to polish the floor, for whatever stupid reason, they had a battery on it that had a leak.
Oh, no.
And they just went with it.
Oh, no.
They're like, oh, who cares? It's a fucking...
it's just water.
It's a mechanic shop, whatever, right?
Wrong.
As long as the floor's smooth, it's good enough. And he made him come back in and grind down part of it and then repolish it. And it wasn't good enough because you could still see the spots. So then come in and grind more down and polish it again.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Like I mean, that stuff will fuck a floor.
Oh, yeah. No, his is just a cement floor, so luckily it's not like it took off a coat of enamel or anything like that. Right. But yeah, it's not good. But of course, you got to make sure Eric doesn't hear the end of it for the entire weekend. And then now again on the podcast, and then now again the next time I see him.
I mean, you'd be a bad friend if you didn't.
Yeah. No, if you're not riding your friend's asses like about every mistake they make, then are you really their friend?
No.
Exactly.
It's called frenemies for a reason.
But yeah, so we got everything about as far as we could go. It's kind of one of those things like I thought I had everything I needed for the fuel lines. So I spent Friday night just kind of mocking everything up, making a list of everything I needed. Went to Carl's first thing in the morning with a list of fittings I needed. Of course, they had half of them because once you start getting into metric, it's a little more challenging. So I had to order it online, wait. So I got to finish that next time we get the car back. But a lot of electronics are installed. Cage is getting redone at Booney's right now. Yeah, everything's just like at 90%. Like brakes are there, but we got to install a proportioning valve, so there's no fluid in it yet. So like, just got to wait for it. So we're waiting for the center console to be built before we decide exactly where we want that valve to go. Then I'll finish those lines. Once we get the cage and the cage done and the bodywork done, then we can we get the engine in, and then we can really be cooking with gas and just get this. Getting this all back together and start shaking it down. I mean, obviously that's like 100, 200 hours worth of work, but we're getting there.
Do you have any idea what you're planning on it looking like when it's done? as far as like a livery
Yes.
theme or idea of any sort? Are we allowed to talk about it?
I don't know how to describe it because I didn't save a picture, but I have some pictures that's saved in the group chat. There's.
I mean, we can talk about it later if you want. I just wasn't sure if you guys even had a plan.
Yeah, there's a plan.
What sort of golf livery you were going to go with or whatever?
No. It's going to be white base.
Come on, Robbie.
White base with navy and gold are going to be the colors, with some red, I think maybe. And I kind of convinced everybody that we're going to do it the way I did the Z. So we're going to do it with some not so expensive vinyl, so that when we scrape up the side of the car, we can just rip it off and replace it for $20 rather than $2,000.
Right.
So I mean, I think not really a hard sell. It's pretty easy to be like, you know what, this is a race car. I'm not going to spend a lot of money and time on this. But I offered to vinyl wrap it and then do the livery similar to what it's not the same livery obviously, but do something kind of like what I did with the Z, where it's a few different tones with there's a couple different Porsche race cars that we're going to kind of base this off of. So I was shopping.
I think you should start a business where you wrap people's cars, but where you're different from other wrap companies is that you're just out front about the fact that it's not the best wrap in the world.
Yeah, it's the 10-foot wrap shop.
Like this is cheap. And you know it's cheap coming into it. And it isn't going to look the best, but it's not going to look that bad.
Right.
Also, when you wreck it, I'll fix it and it won't kill you.
Yes. I will wrap your entire car for $500.
Because I feel like there's a market for that.
Yeah. I'd say so. That YouTube video where I talk about the vinyl on the 240, which has held up for multiple years. That's got 26,000 views and like 200 thumbs up. So I mean, people look at it every single day.
Yeah, is that our most viewed video?
Yeah, by a long shot.
But yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, 20 way up there. I just looked at it because somebody just commented yesterday on it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yep. So I mean, it's been up for a couple of years now. And
was it someone calling you a racist prick?
No, only one person called me a racist prick for calling it Chinese vinyl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or Chinese branded vinyl.
Things.
Yeah. Just looking for a reason to be mad, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's not an inaccurate statement. It is vinyl from China.
Yeah, it was unbranded vinyl from China. That's, I guess, if you want to look for an excuse to get mad, I don't know. I thought it was a reach, but
people always want to find a reason to be mad. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but no, it's in general. It's had that video's got a lot of good reception and people, sharing their opinions on it, but. I mean, in the video, I even say, I was like, this is good enough for me. It might not be good enough for you. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on a car I'm going to take to the track for visual stuff.
I think you just need to manage expectations. People need to, because like, go find me a shop that's like, yep, we're going to do a half-ass job, but it's going to be cheap.
Yeah.
No one does that.
I do that. That's my thing.
I think there's a market for that. I mean, it just takes the right person.
I mean, if someone local wants me to do wrap stuff for them, I'll do it for pennies on the dollar. I mean, I really will. I mean, I like wrapping. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm not.
The only reason that I haven't wrapped mine is because I want to Gulf livery the Omni, but I feel like it'll look weird.
No, it'll look
because the interior is a strange color. It's brown, essentially.
Yeah.
It's various shades of brown and tan. And so like you say, from 20 foot, it'll look great. But when you get up close, be like, this is terrible. And I just, for some reason, I can't get past that. Like if it was a black interior, I probably would do it like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just can't get past the fact that it's going to look kind of dumb.
Yeah. You'd almost have to like spray the interior.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I don't know. I might just wrap it anyway, just because.
I will gladly help you wrap that car.
Yeah.
Yep. I won't even.
The truck would look cool too.
I'll help you with that too. We could do all sorts.
Wrap them all. Fuck
yeah.
it.
Let's wrap all the vehicles.
Wrap everything.
Yes. Now you're getting it. And
it's way cheaper than fixing rust.
That's for sure. And it'll
just wrap over it.
It'll look good and it's rust prevention because you're covering the metal.
Problem is that my stuff rusts from the inside out because GM is terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
So the rust will still be happening, but I won't see it. Therefore, it's not happening.
It's not a problem anymore.
Yes. Now we're on to something.
It needs to look good in a picture moving at speed, and that's good enough for me. Up close, if you can see the flaws, that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But I've gotten really spoiled, and I mentioned it before and didn't really speak to it well enough on the last episode we talked about this. So we go there, and Jimmy from Not Water Barbecue is close friends with those guys and me as well now. And
I know what you're about to say, and I'm really kind of upset about it.
This is back to everybody hates Robbie, and rightfully so. So feel bad for me. I have to eat delicious barbecue all day every time we have a working day.
God, I hate you so much.
So we get there Friday night, and the first Friday night he cooked up brats on the Traeger. It was delicious. And then Saturday we had 2 racks of ribs and a pork butt smoking all day. So at lunch, or I guess brunch, it's like 11 o'clock ish. We reheated the brats from the night before, ate that, and then around 2 o'clock the ribs were done. Then we had some ribs, and then around 6 o'clock he had the pork butt all pulled apart and ready to go. So he just takes pulled pork, throw it on the bun, and he put some of his barbecue sauce on it. I was so full, and I'm gonna have to find a way to have him come down to my place every time we have a working day here, because I don't know how to work on that Porsche without having barbecue all day. It's so good.
I don't know what to tell you, Robbie. Maybe it's time for you to buy a smoker.
I will gladly buy a smoker if he comes down and cooks us meat and hangs out with us while we work on the Porsche.
Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, to kind of just give him a shout out, notwaterbarbecue. Does he have a website? Not Water Barbecue, KNOTWATER.
There you go.
Yeah, Not Water Barbecue. I know he's on Facebook, and yeah, he's been sponsoring Matt, who we do time trials with, and it's really, really delicious barbecue and like rubs and stuff. He was at PPIR with us as well, cooking for us all weekend.
Yeah, I think they make like this sampler pack sort of thing that's got some of the rubs and the barbecue sauce all bundled together. And I think that's going to be a Christmas gift for, how do I say this? Both of my father-in-laws, I guess. Seems weird. Katie's dad and her stepdad. Let's put it that way.
There you go. Yeah, not water. KNOTWATER BBQ.com.
It's really good barbecue sauce.
And he's a really cool dude. So he's
a super cool dude.
Yep. So I appreciate him coming out and cooking for us and just making it a super fun. We're just it doesn't feel like we're working all weekend. We're just kind of hanging out, just tinkering. So it's super fun. And yeah, I like supporting the people that support us. So if you want to head over to notwaterbarbecue.com or not, yeah. Go to notwaterbbq.com.
Boom.
And then, what else have I been up to? Oh, so did I talk about it where I got clobbered in the head the weekend before?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
I don't remember this story off the top of my head, I guess.
Well, the first weekend I was there, we're working on the original fuel line stuff, just getting everything kind of mocked up. And I'm laying under the car, and I roll out right as Nick's son steps out of the car and opens the door and clobbers me right in the forehead. So I had this huge gash, like all the way up my hairline. And I was really proud of myself because it hurt like shit. My response was, "Whoa, careful!" like didn't react at all.
How old is he?
Like 8. So I didn't react, and you could tell he felt bad. But I mean, it is what it is. But but anyways, now we're like best friends. So he's coming out and hanging out with me and telling me all about his stuff. And then on Saturday night, he comes out, "Hey man, you want to see my rat?" I'm like, well, yeah, of course I do. So he runs into the house and gets his rat in a ball, and he's like, "You want to hold it?" Well, yeah, of course I do. So this guy just throws this rat at me, and it's like running across my shoulders and going arm to arm, and Then I'm feeling like really nervous because, what do I do if this rat jumps off my shoulder onto the ground and dies? I feel really, really bad. So like I'm just standing there frozen like, okay, take a picture of me and the rat. Rats are such great pets.
I mean, that's your opinion of it, I guess.
But it's just funny how him and I are like buddies now.
Is it like a big white rat or what?
Yeah, it's like a lab rat. It's got some brown or gray on him. Gray,
okay.
Brown. Like, I mean, it's like what you buy at a pet store.
Right.
So, no.
Katie thinks that we need to get Logan a small rodent, and that is one thing I will hold out on not happening.
Don't get a gerbil. I mean, that's my advice. Rats.
No gerbils, no hamsters. No. Surely no ferrets.
Oh, ferrets would be great.
No, they're the worst, dude.
The best.
Freaking assholes.
Oh, they're like cats, man. They get along with your
cat. No, they're way worse than cats.
It's the same as a cat, except they're funnier. And
no
they're
way.
They're way
better. I was kind of like, goldfish? Sure.
Yeah, goldfish are easy. Fish tanks are cool.
Yeah.
No, you get
I don't know. When he's a little bit older and I feel like it's time. I mean, he's not that far off. I probably could do it now because he's pretty good about stuff. But that was kind of like, our plan to kind of help teach him
responsibility.
Some level of responsibility was to get him a goldfish or something like that.
Yeah.
Katie wants a turtle. I had a turtle. Turtles kind of stink. I'm not going to get him a turtle.
Turtles are no good. I mean,
turtles are cool. I really like turtles, but they smell funny.
Yeah, I remember you had those salamanders and they stunk.
Salamanders were the worst pet I've ever had.
I believe that. No, we had gerbils, and that was the worst pet by far.
Oh, really?
Because you get 2, and then you get 1,000.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And
see, that was part of the plan for because I desperately want a Goliath bird-eating spider.
Yes. You're
which
crazy
grow up to 12 inches in diameter, and it's epic. And my idea was that I was going to get. There's a like this hole in the wall pet store in Des Moines that we go to every once in a while.
Yep,
it's kind of like
I know where that is.
It's kind of like going to a zoo almost. Because they have so many fish and they have a bunch of other weird stuff. And one time I was in there, and they always have different spiders. Sometimes there's a Goliath in there, but one time I went in there and they had, or were they Brazilian walking sticks or something that?
Yeah.
Which Goliath bird eaters are rainforest dwelling spiders from South America, and so this walking stick would be like an animal, or would be like a prey for this spider, right? And I went in there one time and they had like 1 or 2 of them. And then I went in there like a few months later and they had a bunch of them. And there was a sign on the cage that said, please be aware that these reproduce asexually and be prepared for that. And I was like, sweet, a never ending food supply that automatically replicates itself. This is great. So I was just going to buy a couple, like 2 Brazilian walking sticks.
Yeah,
kind of speed up the process a little,
Yeah, of course.
And Goliath bird eater, and then I didn't have to buy anything anymore after that because it would just have its food. It's gonna be great.
Or get gerbils because they reproduce faster than that thing could eat.
Nah, dude. Well, I don't know. It probably could eat gerbil babies, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Just get the little pinkies before the gerbils eat those. God, but gerbils are the fucking worst, dude. The worst. The worst. I
didn't know you had such a aversion to.
They're the worst because they're gross, and then they chew through everything, so you have to have metal cages, and then they throw the shit everywhere, and then they have like 10 babies, and then they eat them, and then they have more babies, and some of them survive, and then they have babies, and before you know it, you have 30 of them, and then you can't get rid of them.
Right, because no one else is stupid enough?
No, and then you need a snake, and then your parents don't want a snake. You see how it's just the worst.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, gerbils. No, don't get gerbils.
That's fine. I was just gonna stick with cats and dogs.
Of
we'll
the
probably
rodents,
get Logan like a little bowl and a goldfish. And
that's a good place to start. If you have to have a rodent, I would push you toward.
We need anything else.
Well, you have like cats and dogs. I mean, you're already.
Yeah, we'll go to the zoo.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But if you get a ferret, it'll poop in the litter box and it'll eat cat food. You already have all that.
I don't want a ferret.
You don't even.
Ferrets are assholes.
No, they're the best.
No, they're assholes.
Yeah, they probably are. We get to the. So I finally swapped in a true limited slip differential in the Z. I did not.
Put it in the Z.
I did not go the route of swapping it back and forth between the Z and the 240. It's in the Z.
Yet.
It's with the lift. It's really not hard.
That's funny.
No, hold on. I had a picture. There it is. But I was kind of like weirded out about how I was gonna like lift the car and have it on the lift so that I can spin the rear wheels. And then I remembered how wide the platform is that it's sitting on. I was like, oh, I'll just jack it up and then put 2 jack stands on it, and it's like it's sitting on the floor. So it's actually like you put wheel chocks on the front, and then you lift up and sit it on the jack stands on the platform. Works just fine. I was kind of sketched out about it until I did it. I was like, oh, yeah, this is no problem at all.
This shit ain't going nowhere.
No, it was rock solid. So yeah, I mean, I just pulled the diff out. I mean, just let it all hang. It's been a while since I worked under a lift, so I hit my head a few times because I forgot how high it was or how not high it was at certain points. So I would turn around and then catch my head on like the control arm or whatever. So I got another.
I'm sure there's a learning curve there.
Another scab on the top of my head. Again, feel bad for me because of I'm full of barbecue hitting my head.
Are you gonna have CTE here? Is this gonna be a thing I need to start worrying about?
If I don't have CTE from skating, it's probably this will do it. This will like push me over the edge.
Push you over the edge, yeah.
But no, I mean, it was super easy. I started working on it Friday night, and I go out there and I jack the car up and I get it lifted in the air and I start taking things apart, and before I know it, it's on the ground. And I look at my watch, right, or look at my phone. I was like, I've been out here a half hour. Like I wasn't even in a speedy mood. I was just like, let's get a little bit done. I'll finish this tomorrow. Half hour. I was like, oh, all right. I got the whole night ahead of me yet. So it went super, super smooth. And then
maybe a little too smooth even.
No, it was all good. The hardest part was getting it back in on Saturday night because I don't have like a jack that tall. So I had to like muscle it up in there and then get it to a point where it was where the bolt sticking out of the front cover is where it needs to be, and then it's resting on the sway bar. And then I don't have enough strength to hold it up with one arm and then thread it in with the other. And so then I'm just too weak. Plus, it's heavy as shit. So I had to like get a jack and a really long 2x4 and then hoist it up and then get the one bolt started, and then it was super easy. So I need to get one of those like really tall transmission jacks. That'll make my life super easy. But this is where it comes into James making fun of me. So I was on a wild goose chase to find what's it called? Gear marking compound to check to check engagement,
backlash or whatever,
and check engagement and stuff like that.
There you go.
Yep. So I mean, I had the dial indicator, I got the micrometer, I got all the tools. I just didn't have that gear marking compound. So I go to AutoZone. They're like, we don't carry that. You could use this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's not the same. They kept telling me to use like tire marking chalk. It's like I don't want to do that. So I went to 3 different auto parts stores, and they kept telling me to go to this other parts store. So I would do that, then they tell me to go to another one. So Thursday I went to 6 different parts stores. Then I went to Menards, and then I went to Fleet Farm. And at Fleet Farm, when they didn't have it, I finally said, fuck it, I'll make my own. So I went and got white lithium grease, and then I went to the hobby section and got some oil-based paints. And I just made my own. It worked okay.
I suppose that's not the worst, I guess.
It's obviously not the best, and it didn't really show it as well as the actual marking compound would have. But you could see where it was engaging. I mean, it was in the center where it needed to be. But yeah, it just wasn't quite as obvious. And it worked. And it helped that it was right. It was right. But I had everything out, and then threw it all back together, and I put the shims in, and I'm measuring backlash, and it needs to be between 3 and 6 thou, and I'm at like 10 and 11 thou. I'm like, fuck. So then I take it out and I swap the shims because they weren't the same size. I'm like, well, how about we put the thicker one? And I swap them out, and switch them over. And it gets a little better. It's like between 9 and 10. So hardly makes a difference, but at least pushed it closer to have a little better engagement where it needed to be. I'm like, well, I could order these shims, which are $20 a piece, or I could use my slide hammer and move the bearings out 5,000. So it's really just need a little bit more bearing preload. So I'm like hitting it with the slide hammer, pulling the one bearing out just a little bit. It was like the guy that I bought this from pressed the bearings slightly too far in, so you could see where the casting of the diff was. We're talking thousandths of an inch. Proud of where the bearing was. The bearing was pressed further in, so I just pulled it back out a little bit, and then that brought me right to nominal where I wanted to be for backlash. So I posted a picture of the diff with the dial indicator on it, and James from King Motorsports immediately messages me, "Oh, sure, we're checking tolerances now." Yeah, I check tolerances sometimes.
Come on, man, you're an engineer.
Yeah, but he knows what I did with the Z's when I put the Z
with
together.
The engine.
Yeah, I just threw it together and it worked just fine.
So far.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, so he was making fun of me. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that we were checking tolerances. I thought we just threw things together in your shop. Well, yeah, I do that too, but I at least made sure that this was set right. Yeah, I mean, had it out Friday night, checked it and messed with it a little bit, got my bearings where I wanted it, which was just, really wasn't hard. It was just kind of a lot of jacking around, and then got it all back together and filled it up with fluid on Sunday, and we're good to go. Got a true limited slip.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, and then the only other thing I've been up to is I took the center console thing from the Z, and I yanked out the that little cubby holder thing, and then the radio holder, and I replaced that with carbon fiber plates. So now I can have my...
Of course you did.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it out of plastic.
Right.
So the big one on the top, which was the cubby, I'll put gauges up there. And then the bottom has it has a little like a drawer, so I can put my phone in there for my Apex Pro. And then I'll have all all my toggle switches will be above that. So this weekend I'll probably put the toggle switches in, and then I probably won't install that until I get the car back from the getting the cage. But yeah, just getting a lot of tinkering around on stuff. I think it turned out pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I have one quick update on my pile of shit fleet as well, besides the corner marker that flew off, and then I think we roll into the news.
Yep, I got one thing that'll be perfectly rolling into the news.
Okay. So Katie calls me. This has been a while. 2 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah, roughly.
She calls me. So she has to take my kid to and from school every day, right? She calls me at noonish when she's dropping him off, and she goes, "Oh, the Blazer was making a funny noise, and I think it spit a bunch of oil out, and I had to leave it at the school, and another one of the moms brought me back home." And I was like,
great,
fucking sweet, this is gonna be great. So excited. So I finished out as much as I could of my day, tried to sneak out a little bit early to get back home and try and address this, and went to the school where it was still parked, and was kind of looking around at things, and I was looking underneath it, and I was like, there's no oil or anything underneath it. Maybe a drip or two at the most. And I was like, cause it doesn't, it's surprisingly for a almost 250,000 mile vehicle, it's surprisingly tight when it comes to fluid consumption.
That's good.
Yeah. It doesn't really leak anything or anything like that. It's especially for me, it's quite surprising, frankly. And so I was like, okay, I don't see anything wrong. This is strange, and so I jumped in it and I started it, and it seemed fine. And I was looking around, and I was like, looking underneath the hood, the fan's not spinning. What the fuck, because the fan spins all the time because it's ran right off the crank pulley.
Yep.
Like, it's not an electric fan. It spins all the time. It's a clutched fan, but it spins all the time.
The fan that you just replaced.
Right. Because here, I don't know, a while ago, whenever that was.
We talked about it on the show, so it wasn't too long ago.
I got tangled up in the lower radiator shroud, blew the fan and the radiator apart on my way home from work one day. So I was like, okay, whatever, and I went and shut the truck off. Actually, because I'm a moron, without thinking about it, I reached in there and like grabbed it, kind of shook it around a little bit. And in hindsight, I realize now that I probably could have lost a hand or finger doing that,
Yeah.
because it didn't cross my mind that like, oh yeah, this thing spins all the time, doesn't it? It doesn't just spin when it's warm. It spins all the time. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me at that moment, but it totally didn't.
Well, at least it didn't catch your hand.
Yeah. And so then I shut the thing off and I jump back, or I go around back up front, and I realized that once again, the lower radiator shroud had popped out of its tabs on the bottom, got tangled up in the fan, and broke the radiator shroud into two pieces, and just made so the fan wasn't spinning. And then that in turn got it hot enough that it puked some of the coolant out. And Katie thought it was oil because the thing is so old and rusty that the coolant passages are rusty enough that despite the fact that it has good green antifreeze in it, it still looks like rusty water.
Oh, weird.
And I remember when my dad and I had this all tore apart trying to put the new radiator in it, we flushed it out as much as we can, but there's still a lot of nasty gunk in there.
Of course.
Is what it is. Kind of shocked it hasn't become more of a problem, but knock on wood,
Yep.
it hasn't been an issue yet. So, but yeah, I yanked the lower radiator shroud out of there and went and started the truck back up, and it was fine. I wasn't leaking any oil because the radiator has the oil and transmission cooler built into it.
Oh, yeah.
So it could leak any of the three or all of the three fluids, any combination of the fluids.
And then cross-contaminate.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Really cause hell. So everything's fine. I think what happened is the radiator and the lower shroud don't quite sit right in the lower radiator support. And I think that maybe somebody hit a deer with that thing years ago.
Oh, yeah.
At some point or something like that. And when they did that, now they didn't get it quite fixed right. And now it doesn't, it just doesn't line up. And every once in a while, eventually it'll work itself back and forth or whatever is happening. And the lower radiator shroud, because like literally all it does is it sits into like these two holes at the bottom. There's just tabs that slot into these holes.
Yep.
And then it bolts to the upper radiator shroud, and that's all that holds it in place. That's it.
Yep.
And so I think what's happening is that it wiggles back and forth a little bit because it's kind of bound in there because the lower radiator support isn't quite straight. And eventually those tabs pop out, and then they get mixed up with the fan. And so I decided that until proven different, the lower radiator shroud's not a thing I need.
Yeah, I don't think it's critical. No.
It doesn't run any hotter or cooler than it did before, and so I don't fucking care.
No, I'm
done with it.
I wouldn't lose sleep over that.
I just took it off. There is a chip missing out of one of the blades of the fan, but it's not cracked. It's just chipped, and so we're driving it. Screw it. It seems fine.
Good.
So bullet dodged.
Yeah,
I thought she blew the motor up or something happened. Not that it would have been her fault, but absolutely would have blamed it on her.
Well, yeah, it's not your fault.
She was driving it. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it seems fine. So she lives to die another day. So
that's good. Did the clutch in the fan prevent it from like just grenading itself?
I think that's what it was. Is that when it got caught in there, that clutch disengaged because there was enough side force on it to keep it from spinning, and that clutch just said, "Oh, there's something wrong," and it didn't. It just stopped.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, it also kept me from losing a finger, so that's nice.
That's also very nice.
Yeah, super friendly of it.
Yep. No, I wouldn't lose sleep over not having the shroud. That's for sure.
No, I think it's fine. It doesn't matter.
No.
It seems. So whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. So
nice. Well, I'm glad that it wasn't the mess it was the first time around.
yeah, I just had these visions of having to do all kinds of. Well, at first I thought, oh god, I was having these visions of it just being real bad, and then when I got it back to the house and everything was fine, it wasn't leaking. Because that was Friday. No, it wasn't Friday, was it? No, it was Wednesday because we had to record the next day because
yes.
I thought I was going to be working on this thing all night, so that she could get Logan to work to school the next day. But then, I was like, she was supposed to go to her mom's house that weekend, and I really wasn't planning on going with. But here now, I was gun shy. I was like, is it? Running around town, it's fine. But when I'm driving on the road and it's had pressure on it for a while, is that going to be enough to like work some little nick loose and pop a pinhole leak and
lose everything?
She's going to be stranded somewhere, and I'm going to have to come and get her, and it's going to be a mess. And so I was just like, well, I guess I'm going with her. So, but no, we've put it, quite a bit of mileage on it since then, and it's fine.
Nice.
So.
That's good.
Bullet dodged.
Always good.
This time.
Yep.
So.
And then on Sunday, I didn't feel like we're tinkering and messing in the shop, and plus it was like 30 degrees outside.
These are facts.
So I didn't want to deal with it. So what I did was I learned how to overlay my Apex Pro data over my videos using Dashware, which is a software.
Yes.
Which is a video software that you can overlay your data and stuff. And Apex Pro is not supported on their platform yet, so you have to like make your own. So I emailed or messaged Andrew and said, "Hey, is there a template out there?" And he sent me what they had, and it really wasn't what I wanted. So I used some of the parts that they had, and then I also used some of the stuff that the GoPro template had, and then just kind of like created my own. So I got my best lap time and the difference from the previous best lap time, and my Apex Pro and score, speed, G-forces, and then it also has the map that shows where I am with on the track. And then, so basically what you got to do is you upload all your video and your data, and then you have to basically define like an Excel sheet would do, where you have to define like the formulas and stuff, and then use that to create groupings. So yeah, it was just, if you can do Excel, you can do it. But yeah, I spent all day getting it where I wanted it. Picking and pulling different gauges from their templates and what Andrew had. And then, so I went through and edited all my videos or best laps from every session I've had this year that I had footage of, and then just upload it to my personal account so I can go back and review them later. But it was, now that it's set up, it's like no time at all. But yeah, it was a nice way to spend the day getting all that stuff organized for myself for later coaching, reviewing stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah. But it also shows Andrew at Apex Pro's awesome customer service, because I just messaged him, like just cold call him. I said, "Hey man, got something like this?" "Oh yeah." And he just emails me a template that he'd sent to somebody else that was super helpful, because there was a couple programs that like I was trying to figure out where, like, all right, how do you get the lap time from the data? Because it doesn't have just like a column that says lap time. So it just like has a bunch of formulas in the background, so the data doesn't actually display your lap time. So you got to use different programs and formulas to put that together. But yeah, it's super cool. I'm pretty happy with it. But if you want to,
I need to go watch one of these videos. I haven't watched them yet.
Oh yeah, well I didn't like advertise or anything.
I know, but you sent one of them to Dalton in our little group chat, and I was like, "Oh, I should watch that," and then I never went back and watched it.
Yeah, no, so I didn't share it anywhere. I might share it on Instagram, because like, yeah, I'm not doing it for clout. I'm not like showing everybody like this is the best way to do it, because it's not. It's just more for myself, so I can go back and look at it like, well, you spent a lot of time with your hand on the shifter instead of hand on the steering wheel, dumbass. Or you clearly blew through that apex, but that was still your best lap. So, I mean, even in just editing and then rewatching them in the last like couple of days, I've gone through them and like I can see a couple obvious mistakes, and it'd be cool to have either Andrew from Apex Pro or like Dion from Racers 360 take a review at it, and just be kind of cool to see what they have to say. Like, okay, here you're clearly looking to the right when your turn is to the left, you moron. So it's nice to go through and review after the fact and just kind of see the mistakes I'm making and where I can improve. But yeah, if you want to get your own data acquisition system, go over to apextrackcoach.com, use our code 10tenths, get a free window mount. I've been saying this forever. It's probably the best value when it comes to getting into data. It's got a lot of support everywhere. And then, yeah, like you can do what I did with Dashware and, upload your data and create a video so you can just watch. You can overlay your GoPro footage over with the data so you can see exactly where you are on track, your lap time, stuff like that. You could get into like breaking it up into section times if you're really good at it and wanted to, dive into, excuse me, and dive into like getting way into like editing and stuff like that, which I really wasn't trying to get that far into it. But yeah, apextrackcoach.com.
I think what Robbie's saying is that if you want to do that, hit him up and he'll send you his template.
Yeah, I'll happily share mine. I mean, I could share the Apex Pro one. I could share mine. I could walk you through what you're trying to do. I mean, whatever you want to do. I know people have different preferences on what they want to see in their videos because like I'm watching people's videos with all this extra crap that isn't relevant to what I'm trying to. I just want to know my lap time and my Apex Pro score and where I was on track and just like the speedo. So I don't have the OBD2 unit that Apex Pro sells. So it's just the other data. So like if you had the OBD2 like Lap Timer Plus through Apex Pro, you could have all that. And I think if you do their Lap Timer Plus video recording, you can do the iPhone video and use Apex Pro stuff for that. So I mean, there's options if you want to really start diving into video review sessions, and it's even in the 1 week I've had, it's been super super helpful. So hit me up if you want help with your own videos.
Cool. First up, the new Panamera Turbo S E Hybrid is the most powerful gasoline-powered Porsche you can buy.
Yes, I love Porsche. Porsche podcast. Porsche race team. Porsche endurance team.
Jesus Christ.
This
most winningest endurance brand of all time.
The best racing brand is the Porsche. Everybody knows that. It's the fastest. All right, I'm done. I'm just joking.
Okay. Are you sure you don't need to like mentally masturbate any farther? We're good now.
The best looking car is a green Porsche. Everybody knows that.
I don't know about green, but okay, whatever. So
what's so special about this station wagon?
The new Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid, which is quite the name.
Does it have a turbo?
Yes, this is a real turbo.
Okay,
because it is a gas engine.
Is it actually turbocharged?
Yes, it is a turbo. I think it might even be a twin turbocharged V8.
Nice.
And an electric hybrid system. So, yes, twin turbo 4-liter V8. So, they post this stuff in PS, which I don't really know.
I don't know.
Some
PS.
sort of German power figure.
Which is slightly more than brake horsepower.
Yes. So it makes 700 PS, which is 690 horsepower. So it's pretty close. But the engine itself makes 571 PS. So let's say about 550 horse.
Yeah.
And then it has a electric motor built into the PDK transmission that makes the rest of the power.
Huh.
And so I think that this torque fills.
Oh yeah,
kind of like the P1 does.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that's how
it's probably tech from like the 918 hybrid, kind of trickling down.
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah. Is a $200,000 luxury car trickling down?
Yeah, but I mean, it was $1 million.
Yeah, I guess
The 918 was $1 million car, so I guess this is trickle down, right?
Yeah. To the masses,
Kinda.
Yeah, you'll see this on the road all the time.
So, the Turbo E is a $56,000 option.
They're gonna sell the shit out of it.
So, the base Panamera 4E hybrid, not the turbo, just the regular E, starts at 83,000 pounds.
Man, that's expensive.
So yeah, this car is going to get wild, crazy expensive. But 35 miles, electric range, which is essentially useless, really. I just think it's kind of funny that, like, I guess, you would assume that like a GT2 RS or something like that would be the most powerful gas-powered Porsche, right? Some GT spec 911 of some sort. But nope, it's their 4-door and station wagon.
That's because you need all that power to move that heavy beast.
Yeah, it's still slower.
Yeah,
than
like
GT2 RS.
like a full second.
I don't know. Full second's a little bit extreme,
isn't it?
Yeah. So it does. The GT2 RS will do 0 to 60 in 2.8. This will do it in 3.2.
Oh, that's actually closer than I thought it would be.
So it's 0.4 of a second off. It can do 196 miles an hour top speed, which is only 4 miles an hour more than the previous Panamera Turbo S.
That's got to be gearing, though.
Hybrid boosted one. So I would say it could be gearing limited, or maybe it's just a brick up top.
Maybe.
And that little bit of extra power just isn't enough to really matter. I don't know. But I love the station wagon. I think it's one of the coolest cars that money can buy, and this just makes it cooler, Robbie.
As someone that's on a Porsche race team, I have to say that it's a fine car.
You don't have to say anything,
I don't like the Panamera at all.
I know. It makes me sad, but I get it. So I don't know. I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
I was just kind of surprised that they have the Panamera being the most powerful version. Of course, the Taycan is more powerful, but it's all electric, which is why you have to have that gasoline powered caveat.
Yeah, that or I'm surprised like some of the other, the hypercars or the the GT's cars aren't.
Well, they don't currently make a hypercar.
Right.
The 918 they haven't made that in a few years, and other than the GT2 RS is kind of king shit on Turd Hill there. So
very. Yeah. So. All right, moving on.
Up next, the new Hummer EV has been announced.
God, there's nothing worse than a silent Hummer.
I don't know about worse. That might not be that bad.
Adam, the whole point of a Hummer is to make noise.
I mean, I guess. I have a kid, so I got to be careful about those things.
Oh, yeah. That being said, I like it.
Yeah?
God damn it.
Yeah?
I fucking like it.
This is kind of
I like it. I said it.
This is kind of like insane for the sake of being insane. So it's a full-on luxury vehicle.
Yes.
They call it. I mean, it's as luxury as GM can be. It's going to be $100,000 or more.
Yeah, the first release one's like 110, and then you get down to like $80,000 or whatever.
Yeah, so eventually they're going to release a Hummer EV2 that's supposed to be around 75.
Yeah, which is kind of in line with some of the other high-end pickups.
Right. So it is a pickup. It's not an SUV, which is kind of interesting. It makes a claimed 1,000 horsepower.
That's a lot.
And I would assume, somewhere in that range probably for torque, because it's electric.
They have a really weird...
so torque is hard to make...
And the numbers
like a reasonable figure,
because the numbers they're using says
vehicles.
Yeah, that their figure that they're putting out there's 11,000 pounds, but the way they do their math doesn't really make sense to anything you can market. Right. So it's 1,000 horsepower, 11,000 pounds of torque. It's like, well, no, nah.
So they claim it'll have 400 miles of range, comes with 35-inch tires from the factory, air ride suspension, underbody protection, four-wheel steering that allows it to crab. So it's supposed to be like this wild, capable off-road luxury electric truck.
This would be so great with a 6.2 in it.
Well, now they got that 6.6, Robbie.
Yeah, that'd be great. But it's I think they succeeded where Elon Musk and the
Cybertruck.
Thank you. I was trying to say like Cyberpunk. The Cybertruck, where they were going with it, like it's clearly over the top. It's ridiculous. But like
it doesn't look like a
this was done in the right way. Like this takes all the features of the Hummer that people liked and also takes all the features of the Avalanche that I liked.
You're the only one that liked that, Robbie.
That's not true. People like the Avalanche.
I think people settle on the Avalanche.
No, the fact that the seats roll, you can put the seats down. You get the Avalanche was underappreciated in its time.
You're the only person I've ever heard
Dalton.
like, man, those things were fucking great.
Dalton loved his Avalanche.
Dalton loved the 8.1 in his Avalanche.
No, he liked the Avalanche itself too. But I think the Hummer is going to sell, and it's going to actually sold out in like an hour. But of
course it did.
Yeah, it's sold out through 2023. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but I think that if this is the vehicle that's really going to start getting pickup owners in the idea, like if this goes well, I think that you'll see more and more people leaning towards electric power pickups.
Well, and I think this, we've kind of talked about this before. This is a good way to kind of bankroll your EV development. There's always more margin in luxury vehicles.
Yes.
Because you can kind of pay or charge whatever you want for it. And then, that kind of helps pay for the research and development that went into it so that you can trickle it down and put it in more base model vehicles. So,
yeah. And they're not selling it at, like, again, you can't sell a pickup as like this green vehicle. No one's going to buy it because of that. You sell it like it's an electric Raptor or an electric Hummer, and you go after that same market that bought the Raptor or the Hummer originally.
So we keep saying Hummer. It's technically the GMC Hummer.
It's a Hummer.
It's branded under the GMC model line because their Hummer doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it's literally the GMC Hummer EV.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I didn't have like any dramatic feelings about it, but like the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think that
you drive that to work every day.
Oh yeah, I'm not big on electric vehicles, but like I think this is they did a lot of things right on this one, and I think what you're gonna see is that this is one of those concepts that's like really over the top in like your renderings and stuff like that. I think once it gets mass produced and gets dialed back just a little, it'll get it right to that sweet spot for me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not that bad. It's not like too wildly gaudy and ostentatious. It's not too over. It's not like 6x6 G-Wagon ridiculous.
You could turn this into one pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, but no, it's not. It's not too bad. I don't hate it.
No, and I wanted to. I wanted to be a grumpy old man that said down with electric vehicles, and then they do this, and I'm like, that looks fun. That looks like a fun vehicle.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think they did a good job with this. I think Ford did a good job with the Bronco.
Yes.
I mean, if you're an off-road like SUV enthusiast, like if that's what you're into, this isn't a bad time to be buying new stuff. I mean, obviously, most anybody listening to this probably isn't buying $110,000 Hummers, but I mean, the options exist.
I do have one complaint, and it's my complaint with all new vehicles.
Oh, it's too tall?
No, that's fine. I don't care about that.
That's my complaint.
I fucking hate the iPad look for your dash.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I'm with you on that.
I hate it so bad.
Super with
I'm trying to find a picture of it. But why can't you just incorporate the dash molded into just the screen? It doesn't have to sit out like a laptop plugged or like an iPad just plugged into the wall.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
It looks awful. There's a picture.
I don't know why they do it, but they absolutely have to.
Yeah, it's like, and I mean, it's GMC and Chevy. I mean, their interiors aren't terrible. I like the dash setup I have in my Silverado. It's got the screen. It's molded into the dash. You got the gauges and stuff right in front of you. This has like an iPad in front of you for your gauges, and then an iPad to your right that just sticks out above the dash.
Yeah,
I don't. That doesn't look like luxury to me. It looks like shit. I think like if they would just everything would just mold in smoothly and contour into the dash, I think it would look even better.
Right.
That of all the stuff in this car, that's my biggest hang up. I do want to drive one though. It'd be fun.
Oh, dude, it'd be super fun, I'm sure. I bet it's super fast. Like it's totally not something that needs to be fast, but I'm sure that it is.
Yes.
And I'll bet it's a riot.
Yes.
So
you can be the douchey Hummer guy without truly being the douchey Hummer guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite like H1 douchey.
No.
It's not even H2 douchey.
No, it's not. It's
which
better.
Is kind of nice.
Yeah. No, I think I'm excited to see this on the street. I am.
Yeah.
I could care less about the Cybertruck. I do want to see this.
Yeah, Cybertruck's I just can't get over what it looks like.
I don't get it.
So
no, I get this. I get this car. I understand the appeal, and I expect them to sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't get the Cybertruck. I don't.
Up next, American manufacturer SSC, so Shelby Supercars, of no relation, Carroll Shelby, resets the world record production car speed record at 316.1 miles per hour average. So the car went 330 in one direction.
Yep.
Went 331.1 miles an hour in one direction. And then returning, he fought some crosswinds and some headwinds and averaged like 3.0 something.
Yeah, like 301.
Went through at 3.0 something. 301?
I think so.
Yeah, to set an average in both directions, which is what Guinness Book of World Records requires, of 316.1 miles an hour in a customer-owned, as you would buy it, production car with Michelin Pilot Super Sport 2s that you and I could buy on Tire Rack.
That's freaking insane.
It's so crazy. It's got a Nelson Racing Engines twin-turboed, flat-plane cranked V8 that makes 1,750 horsepower on E85 pump.
That's got to just be a riot to drive.
Did you watch the video?
I didn't watch all of it. I saw it, I've only ever seen it because I follow the guy that drives it.
Oliver Webb.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. So I saw his clips, and he didn't post the whole video, so I haven't seen it. But
so I watched the whole video. It's very not exciting.
I would imagine because you're driving, and you don't want it to be because you're driving in a straight line, just driving really fast. So you're not going to get that.
It's a dual clutch transmission, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And then, it's like it doesn't even sound like he has it hammered down, and it's not super loud inside, and he's not fighting at the wheel, he's not fighting for traction because it's got a nice, real fancy traction control system on it, and it just kind of, it hunkers down and it's a job done.
Jeez.
And dude, it's I kind of want to hate this. I kind of want to be like, who fucking cares?
But it's so fast.
but it's so fast and it's so cool. I really like this car.
This is a super neat car, and it's awesome that it's like from America.
Yeah. It's American built. The car itself is. The engine is built by someone who I've been following for a long time, who I think builds really cool stuff. I think this thing's rad. I'm super into this. Yes. And they're quite certain that they could, on a nicer day, or if they would have tried more, that there's quite a bit more in it. When you watch Oliver do the run, even when he's doing the 330 run, the car's still climbing when he lets off. There's still more in it.
Yeah, they were talking about the average could be, the average could be like in the 330s. Which is
so
nuts.
This is the second time that this company has set the world record. They took it away from
Koenigsegg.
From Koenigsegg years ago, they took it away from Koenigsegg this time.
Yes.
They originally set a record in 2007. They're actually the ones who got with Guinness and defined the criteria, being the both directions, using a specific certified satellite and having to use it or having to do it exactly the way the customer would buy the car.
I like that.
They set that record in 2007. And then in 2010, with the first Veyron, Bugatti followed that criteria. But then with the Chiron, when they set that record, they did not follow those rules.
No, they did it on their personal test track.
Right, and they only did it in one direction.
Yeah.
And like a lot, these companies don't consider that to be a legit record. And then 2017, Koenigsegg set the record at 277, and now these guys reset it again. So 277 was 9 miles an hour faster than SSC did it in 2007.
Yep.
So that was a 10-year time they jumped 9 miles an hour, and now SSC bumped that 30 almost.
Absolutely insane. And that's not even a true representation of how fast that car is.
No, so it's actually a really well done interview, but Car Throttle posted an interview with Jared Shelby, who's the guy that owns the company. And he flat out said, like, yeah, we know there's more in it. I have no interest in going after it unless there's a reason to.
Yeah, I get that.
He's like, not only do I, is it kind of nice to be able to sit back and be like, yeah, we got more if we need it. But he said from a safety aspect of it, there's so many little things that you can't control because they did it on a closed section of public highway in Nevada, in Nevada. The same, I wish it was Nevada. That'd be dope. The same section that Koenigsegg did it on.
Yep.
And he was like, I can't control the wind. It's very expensive. So you just get a day and like, you just either you make it work or you don't. And like, I can't control the wind. I can't control if some little animal jumps out on it. I don't have any control over how nice the road itself really is.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of little things that play into the safety. And like, let's be real here, north of 200 miles an hour, if something goes wrong and they wad that car up, there's a real possibility that dude's not walking away.
Yeah. There's only so much safety you can put into a car that's going that fast.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what you do.
300 to 0. It's not likely to survive that.
No.
Because I keep trying to say James Oliver because his Instagram is Oliver James Webb. Oliver,
yep.
He was talking about when he hit that crosswind, he moved over 2 lanes, immediately.
Yeah.
It hit the crosswind. All of a sudden, he's 2 lanes over, and he's on the rumble strip at like 300 miles an hour. So he gets out of the car and he's like, "There's more in it, but I'm not going back out there. I'm not doing it." And he just he did the I think it was a couple of runs. That's all it took, and they were like, "Here's the record. No more. I'm not getting back in that car." Because there's a picture of him just laying on the road.
Yeah.
Just, I would imagine. I bet he was just shaking. Yeah,
I get it.
I don't blame him. He's
No.
one of the better non-Formula One drivers that I'm aware of. He's a very well established driver.
Yeah,
and I would imagine at 300 miles an hour you're terrified. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how much experience you have.
So the guys over at Car Throttle, they asked him, how did Webb get involved in it? And he said that, there was a bunch of people, they were just, trying to interview different drivers, and someone suggested, oh, there's this guy, he's real accomplished, let's try interviewing him. And so he said, yeah, we flew him in and we talked to him, and he really liked all the answers that Oliver gave him, and he felt really good about it. And he's, when he walked out, he said, I don't need to interview anyone else. That's the guy I need. And then Car Throttle goes, yeah. And he, it doesn't hurt that he's got quite the following online. And Shelby replied with, yeah, I didn't even know about it at the time. It didn't matter to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a good pairing. Like even if he did, I mean, it was kind of a smart move. You're not going to go after some super high end name, like a Lewis Hamilton or something crazy like that. But
dude, Lewis Hamilton wouldn't get in that car and do that run.
No, he was just an example. But
right.
I think Oliver Webb is a great example of who you should get in that car.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I like the pairing. I like that car. Man, it's super cool.
So, for some reason, when I see the guy who owns the company, that Jared Shelby guy, I like, he's kind of a like yoked out dude, right? And I don't, for some reason, he just looks like kind of a tool. But reading through this interview, he seems really cool. He seems super chill, like really surprisingly down to earth, considering he's like building $2 million supercars and or hypercars. And this is cool to me. Yeah. I don't know why.
It seems to be like those guys that have that type of success and that type of vision and that type of like really cool companies. They just seem like, they might look from a distance like some like affliction wearing guy or whatever. But
right,
because like you see Christian von Koenigsegg, and every interview he does, every time you see him interacting with people, he seems like the most down to earth, level headed, cool guy. So it does.
This guy, he says in this interview, he really has a ton of respect for Christian von Koenigsegg, and talks about how much of he's an innovator and stuff like that. And he seems really down to earth, really like, because this dude could have strolled into this interview and fucking talked about how much better his car is than anything else in the world, and how much better this company is, and how if you're buying Koenigsegg, you're wasting your money, and I mean, he could have been that guy, and no one really could have argued with him about it.
Yeah,
and he wasn't.
No, and that's really not the look you want.
No,
but a lot of people.
Some of those people don't care.
No.
You get to a certain level of success, and you don't necessarily have to care anymore.
That, or you're so competitive that you have to be the best. So like you'll belittle anyone that's even close.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's refreshing.
He flat out says that he thinks the Jesco is quite capable of threatening their record.
Yeah.
So
another awesome car.
Right. So I don't know. Part of me wants to be like, who cares about a car that can do 300 miles an hour like this from the factory? This is a totally useless, totally unnecessary thing, and no one should care. But I just can't.
Yeah, it's too good.
It's super cool.
Yep. It's a good looking car. That's like the best part is.
Yeah. It's not a Bugatti. There's no doubt.
No.
Koenigsegg makes some great looking cars. I really liked the Ultimate Aero, which was the predecessor to this car that SSC made.
Yep.
I think that's a cool looking car. They only made like 17 of them.
Yeah, there wasn't many.
So there's not many out there. But yeah, I think this is cool. So they had a jet plane that they used for chase cam, and the car was not that much slower than the cruising speed of this jet plane. I think it was a Lockheed T-33, I think.
That's
or something like that.
Fast.
And the cruising speed of that plane is not much slower than what this car achieved, which is pretty ridiculous.
Absolutely insane.
So,
yeah,
something I'm kind of interested in, he's talked about, they've already, so they're going to build 100 of these, and they are working on developing track packages and high downforce packages. And they've already taken orders on those versions of this car as well.
Oh, it'd be cool to have this in the hypercar class.
Wouldn't this be like the dopest time attack car of all time?
Yes.
Talk about mad flexing, dude.
That's the flex you want to have. Oh my god, that'd be
hell
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
This is my $2 million hypercar. You better be the fastest thing on the track that day, though, dude.
Oh yeah, no. If you're not the fastest, just turn around and sell it.
Because if you have 1,700 horsepower and $2 million price tag, you better be the flat out fastest thing on the racetrack that day.
Oh yeah.
So, but I don't know. A high downforce version of that car with that kind of horsepower, it'd be tough to touch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that guys like Ferris and James would give a run for his money. They'd give it their all.
Oh yeah.
But is that a show, Robbie?
I think so. Just remind everybody Christmas is coming up. You can head over to our store. We got new shirts. Dusty makes really awesome designs that I couldn't make, so you should definitely go check those out. I don't know. I can't think of a better Christmas gift than a 1010s podcast shirt. Just saying. 10tenspodcast.storemd.com.
Or go to our Facebook page, click on the Shop Now button.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Take you right there. Because that was the best way I could figure out to get there since we don't have our website anymore.
Yeah, and I'll probably start sharing stuff on there. I think there's a few shirts on there that people aren't even aware that we've made, so we haven't done a really great job of pimping our store in a long time. So it was weird because for a while there, nothing was in stock because of COVID. Because like even now, I was gonna make a mask, but all the masks are sold out, so you can't put anything in the store if it's not available.
Right.
So I've just been kind of sitting waiting for them to get restocked. So then we updated it yesterday, and I don't know, time to buy some shirts. Other than that, boom. That's a show. I'll catch everybody else.
I need to buy me a couple of these shirts.
I do too. I think one of them disappeared, and then I like some of these designs that I never ordered, so I'll make a big order before Christmas.
Yeah. So,
but hey man, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll catch everybody
later.
Catch everybody else next week.